What's up everybody? I hope you're doing well. If you've been following along with my journey, then you know that I've recently made a move from San Jose, California to San Diego, California, and with that comes kind of a reboot in a way for my private practice. And I say in a way because I am meeting with my clients via telehealth, so my existing practice is still operating largely as is, but I also rebranded my whole website, and so I'm starting fresh with my marketing strategy here in San Diego rather than continuing to push my marketing strategy up in San Jose, if that makes sense. I was reflecting as I was making this video and realized that this is now the 4th city that I've started a private practice in. So this is definitely not my first rodeo. Some aspects of my marketing strategy feel a lot easier than they once did, especially with the initial learning curve for some of these. So I'm calling this video my low-key marketing strategy because it feels low-key to me, but as I was listing things out, I thought, somebody watching this video might feel like this is not so low-key. Part of the low-key component is the fact that I'm just spacing out all of these steps without any rush. And that is a very privileged thing that I can do because most of my income comes from private practice skills, so I don't have that kind of urgency to sort of push my marketing quickly here in San Diego. I can kind of take my time, do things as I feel like them, 30 minutes here, an hour there, an open slot in my calendar, spend it on some marketing, and then move on, come back to it next week if I have to. At the end of this video, I'll name some things I would do differently if I weren't in such a low-key state of mind and I needed to start up my practice super quickly so that you can glean from those. But for now, I'll share my existing marketing strategy as I am starting a practice in San Diego. The first item I'll name on this list is changing my name. Now, changing my name doesn't necessarily bring in new clients to my practice, but it is part of my overall brand and therefore part of my marketing strategy. Hopefully, my new name also better reflects my brand so that when somebody sees my name, they quickly know what I'm about and can start to decipher if I'm the right person for them. I'm not going to go into all the details of why I changed my name, how I did it, or any of the other related structures to setting up a business in a new city. I have a whole video going over how I did that, so I've linked to that below. In fact, every single item on this list that I'm going to go over today, I have a pre-existing video going in depth on that item, so I've just linked to all of those below because there's quite a few items on this list, and so I'm not going to just repeat that every time. And once I had all those admin structures set up, the easiest low-hanging marketing strategy that honestly most of us go to is setting up my Psychology Today profile. Now, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Psychology Today, but one way or the other, it sends referrals my way. It's a kind of quick and easy way to start getting clients coming into my practice. My next marketing strategy was to update my website for local SEO. So anything on my website that was talking about San Jose, my former city, I switched it to start talking about San Diego so that hopefully my website can start showing up in local search results in San Diego. The next marketing strategy was to set up my Google My Business profile. Super easy to do. I cannot emphasize it enough. I have a whole training showing you how to do a very thorough, in-depth Google My Business profile. And next week, I'm going to release a video showing you the entire setup process of my San Diego Google My Business, so stay tuned for that as well. And my next marketing strategy is blogging regularly. Ideally, about 1 time per week. Blogging is helpful on so many levels because it boosts your SEO majorly, and it also gives you some kind of hero core content that you can then reshare on other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business post, anywhere on social media that you can post. You can send an email out to your email list. I mean, you can just recycle that blog post content over and over again. My next marketing strategy is initiating casual meetups with like-minded therapists. My emphasis here is like-minded therapists. People who I feel like, oh, we are cut from the same cloth. I get you, you get me. So this isn't a salesy kind of marketing type of interaction. It is focused on building genuine relationships with real people that I actually like. And this is a very beneficial marketing strategy. aka networking. But when I call it networking, people think, handing out business cards in a group meeting, and that's not what I'm talking about. The next element of my marketing strategy is making genuine connections with local community leaders who are overlapping with my niche. So for example, one of my niches is working with LGBTQ plus Christians, so it might make sense to make connections with church communities that are also LGBTQ affirming. So that way, it's a natural connection. If somebody that is in their congregation needs some support via therapy, maybe I might potentially be a good fit for them. And the last marketing strategy I'm using for now is leveraging HARO to build up my backlinks. Now, if you're not familiar with HARO, I have a whole video going over what it is and how it can benefit your practice. But to sum up, HARO stands for Help a Reporter Out. And if you want, you can sign up to get a 3 times a day email where different journalists can submit queries. And if there's one that I'm qualified for, I go ahead and submit a response. And most of those folks who use the response will also link back to my website. That is called a backlink, and Google loves it when people backlink to our websites, especially if it's from a reputable source like a news outlet or, a college or university, something like that. So HARO is one way to kind of accelerate your website's authority in Google's eyes, because if you have a bunch of reputable sources linking back to your website, Google thinks, Marie must be pretty legit, so she's gonna show up a little higher in search results. And for now, that is my complete marketing strategy as I move back to San Diego. Now, I'd like to repeat something I said at the beginning. I realize this is a very long list. If you have never started a practice or a business of any sort, I don't recommend that you start with a list this long. In fact, I really suggest you choose like 1 or 2 things, start there, kind of fine tune it, and then if it feels like you have a rhythm around it or you completed it, then you can add another thing. This feels low-key for me because I've done all these things many times before, and so I kind of have a system for how I do it. And I'm really taking my time with them. I haven't even done all of the items on the list just yet, and I've been here for like 6 weeks now. Another thing to emphasize is that a marketing strategy is not static. So the next part of my strategy is to kind of continue with this plan for a few months, and then I'm going to analyze my strategy to see what's working, which avenues of these are sending folks my way, the right kinds of folks that I want to work with, which avenues need fine-tuning, and which ones are just not working for me, either because they're not sending the right folks my way or because I just don't like doing them, and then I can remove those. Now remember, a more low-key approach makes sense for me right now because private practice skills is my primary source of income, and I have my existing clients from San Jose. But if I were in a situation where I were moving and I needed to rely on my practice income in order to, make income, then what I would do is I would have started a lot of these items well before I moved, especially the SEO related ones. And personally, I'd also probably start making those connections with folks in San Diego that I really jive well long before moving, trying to kind of set up meetups before I've ever arrived, so that once I arrive, I kind of have my calendar set up with folks that I really want to meet with, become friends with. So I'd probably hit those 2 things, SEO and networking, really hard before moving if I really wanted to fill my practice like before I actually got here. Now, if you're in a position where you're just starting your private practice and you're not sure how to get your ideal clients to find you, or maybe you don't even know exactly who your ideal clients are yet, I have a whole training walking you through the steps of developing a sustainable marketing strategy, and I even show you tools you can use to kind of analyze your marketing strategy to check back on your work to see if it's actually working. That's called the Client Attraction System. If that's something you're interested in checking out, I've linked to that below as well. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Now, there are a lot of aspects of building a private practice that can feel confusing, but your EHR platform does not have to be one of them. TherapyNotes covers all of your practice management needs, from scheduling to notes to billing, a HIPAA-secure telehealth platform, and so much more. So if you're interested in checking out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description box. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, whatever phase of private practice or not private practice you might be in. Let me know in the comments what sorts of marketing strategies really seem to be working for you and your practice. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.